Hey guys, I'm driving down the street. I was stuck in traffic, but it's actually getting a little better now. But I had an issue on my mind. I have a friend that I really care about, and he's going through some things, and so I decided to make a video about this subject, and the subject matter is, why are we in the storm? Okay, why are we in the storm? And I'm reminded of Luke chapter 8, around the 22nd verse or somewhere in there. Jesus tells his disciples, he said, "Let us go to the other side." And so they got in the boat, and they started going to the other side of the lake. And Jesus told Jesus actually fell asleep. Jesus fell asleep. And there began to be a huge raging winds and all this, throwing the boat back and forth. And the disciples were so scared. They said, "Lord, do you not care that we're perishing?" And Jesus rebuked the winds. He rebuked the storm. And he calmed everything. And then he basically said, "Where is your faith?" And the reason I want to say this is that the disciples were in the absolute center of God's will. They were literally obeying God to the absolute letter. Jesus told them, "Let us go to the other side." They were trusting in Him when they got on that boat. They believed that they were going to go to the other side. And I want to tell you something. It doesn't matter. Even if you are in the center of God's will, doing everything right, there are still storms that are going to arise. The devil's still busy, and life happens. And God never said otherwise, not in any place in the Bible. And so I want to encourage you that you can be in the center of God's will, and storms can still arise. But we serve a God, we serve a Savior that can and has the power to rebuke the winds. We serve a Savior that has the power to calm the storm and make us get to the other side of that lake. Some of us are going through all types of lakes. A lake can represent anything that's attacking our life. It can represent any pitfall that we find ourselves in. And I'm not saying that every lake, every storm of our lives is us walking in the center of God's will. To the contrary, that's probably more rare than it is true. But understand this and hold fast to this, and that is that you can be in the absolute epicenter, just as the disciples were in that epicenter of God's will. They were literally doing exactly what God wanted them to do, and at the same time, the storm came. Be encouraged.